We're, um, we were telling that story about how back in the early 2000s, the Friends stage, when the Friends cast was there, was notorious, not for all the right reasons, but the guy that ran the Warner Brothers newspaper kiosk, the newsstand,
Yes.
was arrested
Yes.
for basically dealing drugs, and hundreds of people were picked up, arrested, and fired.
Yes. I don't know if it was hundreds, several. There were a lot. A lot of people were picked up, including one person from my department, which shocked me. It just shocked me. That on one level, it shocked me, and then when I look back on it, it was like I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know that was going on.
Neither did I.
Mark did, but Mark didn't tell me. And there's a culture at Warner
Mark
Brothers
who?
where Solomon.
Mark Solomon knew that was going on?
Yeah, he knew that the investigation was going on and that people
right.
were going to get picked up. And he made himself conveniently absent when it was actually going down. So I got a call from I can't remember his name. I'm picturing his face, one of the labor relations attorney. Really good guy. He called me and he said, "Hey, you have an employee down there whose name is," and he told me the name, and I said, "Yes. We need to see him. Bring him over to the bridge building, the room, whatever the room was." And I thought he was in the union. He was in the IA. And I thought it was because he wasn't paying his union dues. And this is a labor relations attorney calling me, not one of the general counsel staff. So so I didn't think anything of it. And this particular guy, he has since passed away. We were always getting complaints from the union that he wasn't paying his union dues. So I thought that's probably what this was. So I come out of my office, I go down to where he was, and I said, "Hey, I just got asked by labor relations to take you somewhere. Come on, let's go for a ride." Took him down the bridge building. I get off the elevator, and there's this conference room, and this conference room opens up. The minute that door opened up, and I'm looking at this guy's face, the minute that door opened up, I saw this look of dread in his eyes that I'd never seen anywhere before. And then they quickly shuffled him into the room and left me, like nobody said hello, nobody said thanks. They just kind of left me standing there, twisting in the wind in the middle of this hallway. And then I'm looking around, and in that building, I'd never been up to that floor. There was never any reason for me to go to that building. But they had these like signposts on the corners of the buildings, and they had like be something this way and something that way. Well, anti-piracy was one of the signs, and I saw that, and then I'm like, oh my God, anti-piracy. I thought this guy was involved in something that we prided ourselves on, that didn't happen there. So then I went back to the building. I waited for Mark Solomon to return, and I told him what had happened, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I know. Everything like that. Oh yeah, I know." He never shared that stuff with me, but that's part of the culture that was there, because there were certain things that were never communicated to the rest of the staff. And I was a senior vice president, so I'm more than just staff. I'm kind of up there,
Right.
Because if I am subpoenaed and go in for a deposition, so that I can honestly say that was never discussed with me or around me. I know nothing about it. Or I could honestly say that. That's never happened, but that was the reason for it. Because I asked about that. How come you guys don't tell me what's going on? I'm sitting here like an idiot, and now this guy thinks I'm a bad guy because in a very friendly manner said, "Hey, come on, let's go," like we're going down to Starbucks or something.
Well, I know who you're talking about, and that's why we won't say his name. And I don't think he's still alive.
No, he died. He passed away.
He died. But out of respect, we're not going to get into that. But
there's no reason. You know what? I'm not even sure the allegations are true regarding him.
The other thing too
is they're 100% they're true about anybody. But it was amazing how the guy who ran that, and either the manager or the assistant manager, the commissary got caught up in that.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple of guys from the recycle department. And then, after I found out what it was really about, some of the stuff made sense to me, because like, why is the manager of the commissary, why is he outside by the newsstand hanging around with these people? Some of this, so in retrospect, it sort of made sense to me, like, especially my guy in post-production, who had nothing to do with anything going on at the commissary. And then the recycling guys, had
So,
nothing to do with running because we would see these guys all the time. And it
right.
made perfect sense that they were involved doing this, because they were always all over the lot doing everything. Like the newspaper stand was in place. That was a hub.
Mhm.
Okay, people went to it, but these recycle guys went everywhere, complete access to everything, everywhere on the lot.
So, circling back to our friend who went down in this situation, he would have not known. He would have most likely known. Our friend would have known that you did not know what was going on. I think so. Don't think that you. I don't think he regarded this as a bushwhacking move by you. I think he probably understood something's going down you know nothing
And
about.
I'm really sorry that he got caught up in that. If he had followed my instructions, I don't know if he did, but if he had followed my instructions and fell off the wagon, then it's a shame. It's really a pity.
Well, a lot of people got caught up in that.
Yeah.
That was a bad day for a lot. And then there was another story that one of the cashiers at the
Yes.
commissary was like embezzling money like by the thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of. How do you pull that off?
Well, I don't know. And my reaction at the time was, and it took a year to catch her. And my reaction, and there were the two main ones there, and I don't remember which one it was, the two women. And sadly, I don't remember their names. But they were both very nice. Everybody that worked at the commissary was great, I don't remember either of their names, but I remember at the time thinking, when they said it was in the hundreds, I don't think it was multiple hundreds, but it was well over $100,000 is what I heard. My first thought was, and it took a year to catch her. Okay. So my thing was, if it took a year, if she got that much and it took a year to figure it out, then they are charging us too much. The commissary. That was my reaction.
I love that. That's such a VP reaction. Like, wait a minute. It's not about the crime. It's like, how much are we being overcharged?
Yeah.